Welcome to Life Culture Sports with your host, Greg Armstrong. You can find Life Culture Sports on iTunes. It's Life Culture Sports, no spaces. You'll find that podcast on iTunes. You can also go to lifeculturesports.com for additional content. Also, Knicks Talk also on that website. And you can also find me on Twitter at Greg1918. All right. So, I guess this hell in paradise after all. I'm just joking. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie have filed for divorce. I'm sorry, Angelina Jolie filed for divorce from Brad Pitt, to be clear. And all these people are so upset about this. Like, oh, this is so messed up. Listen, people, stop living your life through these celebrities and through these stars and through these basketball players and athletes and rappers and, pay attention to your own life. I don't give a damn. But it's funny. Some of it is funny. Some of it's really funny. See, the New York Post sees it as funny. I think it was the Post or the Daily News. I'm not really sure. There was a picture of Jennifer Aniston laughing at the news of their breakup. They just basically made it a meme. The newspapers are doing memes now. Look, I think they lasted long for Hollywood standards. It's very tough having a serious marriage a marriage or a relationship or anything like that. It's not the easiest thing. It's actually pretty difficult. I'm not gonna even lie. If I was a celebrity, I don't know, I'd probably be single until my star starts to dull. Because it's difficult. You're traveling, you're busy. All kind of women are throwing themselves at you. People don't understand that kind of life. People don't understand how hard that life is, how difficult, and how much temptation is at your door all the time. Even for the woman, it's a difficult life. So more power to them. Brad Pitt won't be single long. Angelina Jolie will not be single long, unless they both choose to be single, which, whatever. And also I heard that Brad Pitt has some other issues going on with maybe some legal troubles with reports that he may have abused or hit one of the children that they have. More to come on that. Enough talking about those people. Also, I failed to mention the music on this podcast is brought to you by bensound.com. And the music I'm talking about is the instrumental music that I usually talk over while I'm doing the podcast. It's cool, it's a good way to start. And this podcasting business is not easy initially, doing the website and just trying to stay on point with everything. I thought it's just you start it up and, you just start talking. It's not that simple. Maybe one day in the future I will get more into that. But, podcasting is a new media. And it's cool because, I have no restrictions. You see, I can say fuck, ass, shit. I can say whatever I want to say, and I could talk to you like an adult. This is a podcast that's made for adults. I can just tell you like it is. Anyway, I just had a thought. Can you imagine if Beyonce and Jay-Z had a divorce? All these Bay people, Bayhive or Beehive and all these, it's just crazy. They'll lose their freaking mind. They'll be in the street. Oh, marriage will never work. You know what I'm saying? But if Kanye and Kim Kardashian divorced, people will probably be happy. And, I got to give Kim a lot of credit. I can't imagine Kanye in the house. Dude, I think he's different in the house. But I see them in public, and when they're doing public functions and Kanye's wilding, she just stay there like a trophy. She just be like, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, more power to them. I hope they make it. I never wish anybody get divorced or, it's a better world when people are together and happy. But people have to learn how to stay out of grown folk business. I probably have another topic coming up. Speaking of staying out of grown folk business, I probably might want to talk about, it's always been a funny topic is if you saw your friend's boyfriend having dinner with another woman or out with another woman, would you tell your friend? Or vice versa. You saw your homeboy's girl with some other dude, would you say anything? Even furthermore, on the man's side, what would you do if your man's girl tried to come on to you? And that's a whole can of worms there. I've had discussions with women that tell me that dudes will shit on their homies. Yo, I'm telling you, he's been out with this girl, whatever. And I always tell them, I say, yo, they doing that because they like you. And you know what I liked is she was very honest. She said, oh no, I would flirt. I would make them think they have a chance just to get some information. So beware, dudes. Don't be out here shitting on your homie. It's none of your damn business. Again, stay out of grown folk business. I'm sorry, because sometimes you don't even know what's going on in that situation. So, that's just a word to the wise. No, not a big deal, but it's just a word to the wise. Just life stories. There was an old song called "Who's Zooming Who." I think you understand what they mean by zooming, and I just never understand how people can be in their own house and look out the door and look at other people like, what are they doing? What's going on here? So, I didn't even mention this. Mary J. Blige and her husband is divorcing, and that divorce is hopefully it doesn't get ugly. I love Mary J. Blige. Now maybe she's gonna make some other, the music she used to make. Not saying her music ain't good anymore, but when she was going through some shit, she was making some hot music. Let's be real. And there's rumors that that he was hanging with Superhead. That's Kool G Rap's old wife. Ain't that some shit? Baby mama. But he was hanging with Superhead, and Mary J. Blige had a problem with that. Like, why the fuck you hanging with this chick? Like, I'm your friend. I'm your best friend. You don't need to hang with her. And that's a whole nother can of worms, another topic to talk about at a later date. But today's topic is, why do relationships fail? I believe relationships fail from the beginning. A lot of relationships fail in the beginning with the woman or the man not knowing exactly what they want in a woman or a man. I think that's where the failure starts. Indecisiveness and stuff like that. Not knowing what you want leads to failure in the end. Now, if you ask any woman, I've asked women, just for fun, what kind of man you want? What do you want in a man? And I've had women tell me, well, I want a man who's honest, who's good looking. I've heard tall, handsome, sexy, respectful. And when I hear these answers, I say, you don't know what you want. That's generic, what you're telling me. If I asked you, what are you looking for in a car? You're not going to say wheels, an engine, something that looks nice, that has good speed. You just described nothing. You just described every single car, basically, unless it's a piece of shit. Now, I think that if I ask a man, what are you looking for, my man? What are you looking for in a woman? Yo, she gotta be fine. She gotta have a big ass. Gotta give me it when I want it. You know what I'm saying? She gotta have a good head on her shoulders. She gotta be behind her man, whatever. All of that is generic bullshit. It's generic bullshit. It's not specific. He doesn't know what he wants. He will have, I guarantee, both of these people will have failed relationships. Guaranteed. Now, let me back up the truck. Let me ask, now if I ask a woman, what kind of shoes you like? They're going to say, some women will say, I like the ones with, I like the ones with high heels. It has to be kind of wide for my foot. And I like, some women say, I like a flat shoe, one that fits my foot pretty well. You know, what's the main thing I'm looking for? I'm looking for comfort. I'm looking for, I mainly get like black or beige shoes, or sometimes I get colorful shoes to go with my other different outfits. Like, they can go on for days and days specifically about what they want when it comes to their shoes. If I ask a guy, because, you know, guys like electronics and cars and things like that, what kind of car you want? What kind of car would you like? Oh, I would like a car with a V6 engine with this kind of torque and that. I don't know much about cars like I used to, but, you know, they would get very specific about these cars. They would go on and on. And I realized that people do not spend time and give thought to what they want in probably one of the most important things in your life, which is a relationship. Let's be real. One of the most important things in your life is probably going to be the person you try to spend part of your life with. But why is it we don't spend any time on this and give it any thought to what we're actually looking for? Specifically to you. Not some generic dude with no face. Not some generic woman with no face. Knowing what you want. And if you think about it, think of it this way. Let me give a better example. Think about when you were a kid, or when you were going to college, about to go to college or high school, and they ask you, what do you want to be? You ever notice the people who are the most successful knew what they wanted to be? In most cases, knew what they wanted to be very early on and never wavered. They knew exactly what they wanted specifically for them, and they build around that, and they went for that. Then you have the people who just wallow in life. They have a bunch of abilities, but they never know exactly what they want to do. When you don't know what you want, what does that lead to? Confusion. So I would say to women and men out there, when you don't know what you want in a mate, it leads to confusion. I'll date her. She's cute. She's sexy. I'll date him. He's fine. He's handsome. But you don't know what you want. First of all, and I'll say this, to know what you want, you must be aware of who you are. If you don't know who you are as a person, if you're not aware of your shortcomings and what's good about you, what's bad about you, then it's going to be difficult in finding a mate also. Because think about it. Like I said, women, when you're buying a shoe, how come you can buy the specific shoe for your foot? Because you know about your foot. You know that your foot needs a specific side, a certain length of heel you like. You know if you need the shoe extra wide, because you know exactly how your foot is. You know all about your foot and what shoe goes on your foot, like a glove, right? So if you're aware of yourself. And by the way, I'm saying this because I realize that also, let me just say this. I know that a lot of people are not fully aware of who they are until later in life. Like most people in their 20s, I don't advocate for marriage at that age, because a lot of times you don't even know who you are. Every now and then we get lucky, or we sacrifice and we make these things work. But I think in your mid-30s, that's when you really know who you are. And I think that's when most people are at their most confident. If they've taken good care of themselves and things like that, that's when they really know, okay, this is me. This is how I react to certain situations. This is the kind of person I am. You start to know who you are, and that's the most important thing before you can go forward. You know, I mean, like if you know you're a person that likes to laugh a lot, then you know you got to get with somebody with a sense of humor, right? You know something about yourself. So, again, so the first thing you need to do is put some effort and some thought into who you are. First of all, it will help. You probably hear my son in the background. It will help your life on a whole, first of all, to know who you are as a person. You might, like, if you want if you really want an honest assessment of who you are, and you have a few people around you who really love you, who are not afraid of being honest with you, ask them what they think of you. That'd be the first step to find out who you really are. You might disagree, but if it's somebody you love, then maybe they're just interpreting you a certain way, and that's maybe the energy you're putting out there. That's the first step of awareness. But knowing who you are is the most important part in choosing a mate, because then you're going to know what kind of mate is going to fit with you. Or maybe you're going to realize that you need to change certain things about yourself. Let's be real. Maybe you're going to say, wow, before I go and, because I've heard women who say specifically, and men specifically, what they want. And the problem with that is, this is what I would always say. Like, I've heard guys say, I want a bad bitch. I want a dime. Then if you ask them what a dime is, they'd just be like, just a pretty woman, so whatever. But they would say, they want a beautiful woman, well put together, who got it going on, who's educated and on top of her own business and doing well for herself, no kids, just throwing it out there. I'm just trying to and that's still pretty generic. However, then this is why my friends love me, and sometimes they get angry, but then I'll look at them and I'll say, but dude, you got 3 kids. But dude, you don't have a college degree. So basically, I'm not saying if you don't have a college degree that you can't want a woman with a college degree. I'm just saying that woman who has all those things that you want, she's going to want something in return. So what are you giving up? What are you giving in return? My son is having a ball, and he's having a ball, I swear. Only certain days I let him watch little cartoons, and he is just really enjoying it right now. I'm sorry, I had to just go into that. He's 4 years old. He just be wilding when he knows every single word. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So, some people say, you can't be a 6 looking for a dime. I disagree with that. If you're willing to wait, a 6 can get a dime. If you're willing to wait, a 6 can get a dime. And what I mean is, you have to be patient. You have to be patient. Once you get specific about what you want, you have to be patient. Because to get specifically what you want in a relationship or from a mate, you're going to have to be patient. You're going to have to be patient. It's like, again, I've seen women and men. Matter of fact, when I shop, especially when I was younger, I would go from store to store to store to store to find the perfect outfit or the perfect clothing or whatever like that. I would look hard. I would invest time. I know women who would look in magazines forever, watch videos, all of that. All of this just for a piece of clothing. But when it comes to a man, you'll do all of that, throw all of these clothes on, do all of that. And then when it comes to a man, okay, he's tall, he's handsome, that's good, let's make it work. And that's just not the way you choose a mate. You should take your time. If you're serious about choosing a mate, if you just want to get down and have fun, hey, then you should just go on the superficial things. But if you're serious about having someone in your life that you can grow with, you need to first be aware of who you are, then be specific about what you want. And there are other things that ruin a relationship. Like, some people have issues with trust. Now, what I mean is, you have some people who are very jealous people. You have some people who are very insecure. In my opinion, I would not date an insecure person. I would run away from an insecure person. Some people say that's mean, that's cruel. Listen, I got one life to live and I ain't got time to be your therapist. If you're insecure, you need to go speak to somebody. You need to figure out a way to make yourself a more secure person. I've had those kind of issues, and I have taken care of those kind of issues. I had to read a lot of books. I had to do a lot of soul searching to build myself up and to become more confident. But if you're insecure and you have low self-esteem, then it's going to be difficult just about in any relationship, because usually a lot of people who have low self-esteem or are insecure, sometimes they overcompensate, or they are very jealous and they always need confirmation all the time of another person's love, and that can be annoying to some people. Again, if you're the type of person, hate to say it, but if you're aware of your shortcoming, if you know that you're insecure and you know you need a lot of confirmation, maybe you want to get with a guy who's over the top with his love, over the top with his feelings. Maybe that'll work for you. So again, knowing who you are and being honest about who you are makes it a better chance of you finding someone that you can work with. But trust issues is a big thing, because I'm gonna tell you, no relationship can work. No relationship, business, no kind of relationship could work without trust. None. So you have to have trust. And in a minute, if you don't trust, listen, ladies, if you don't trust your man and you're searching through his shit, you need to leave him, or he needs to leave you. Guys, if you following and being like a semi-stalker or always wondering where she's at and stuff like that, dude, you need to move on, because that's not going to work in the long run. I'm telling you like this. I know it for a fact. It will not work. Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. Other reasons why relationships fail is that, people have different expectations and what they want in a relationship. Again, it goes back to what I had said initially, knowing what you want, knowing where you want to go. Now, sometimes what you want may change over time. Come on, let's be real. Sometimes you just, guys do this a lot. I just want one woman, and maybe he was feeling a little lonely. He gets this one woman, and then he starts running around realizing, damn, I want to hang. I still want to hang. I'm not ready to just have just one woman, or sometimes changes in his life or changes in his learning and things like that. That's why I think it's important that to stay on the same page, you got to learn together. Couples that learn together grow together, And this is a famous quote. This is another issue too in relationships. So this is a famous quote: never allow someone to be your priority while allowing yourself to be their option. Mark Twain. This is very important also. You have a lot of guys and girls who you might be their fun thing. You might be somebody they just like hanging out and chilling with, and you want more out of the situation than they do. Or they're into someone else and they're biding their time with you. It just is what it is. You need to recognize that. You need to be clear about what you want. And if that's not what you're going to get, you need to be able to move on. Or if you want to just continue to enjoy the person, then you stay and without any misunderstanding. Because you'll have people who will stay and be like, well, and put up with the bullshit, or put up with something they know they don't want, and then later on try to say, oh, I stayed with you. If a guy is straight honest with you and telling you, or if a girl is straight honest and saying, listen, I don't want nothing serious, but I enjoy your company, you got to understand, you got to be prepared to move on. You also got to be prepared for that person to get with someone else eventually. You're just a fun thing. Understand that. And that's the difference in your priorities, as far as communication's another issue and reason why couples don't stay together. And again, it leads me back to what I was saying before, but you have to listen. You have to be honest. You have to be able to communicate. You have to say what's on your mind and figure out a tactful way of saying it. Women and men, you can't be out here not communicating. Women are famous. Women always say men don't communicate, but I've had women do a lot of things. Like they'll make a face and expect me to know what's going on or why they're feeling this way. I say, what's wrong? You know what's wrong. No, I don't know what's wrong unless you tell me what's wrong. Let's be grown-ups. You know, maybe when you're 15, 16, you could do that. But when you're in your 20s and 30s and 40s, you can't be out here making faces and expect people to know, okay, I know something's bothering you, but what is it? You know? And guys, if you're not happy, you have to let the woman know that. You have to give her, if you care about her, give her the opportunity to fix the problem. I mean, I remember one relationship I had, speaking of, my priorities changed. You know, at one time in my life, I became super duper pro black, Mr. Pro Black. I watched the movie Malcolm X and it changed my life. It opened my eyes to a whole nother world. And the woman I was with at the time, her eyes wasn't open like mine was. She wasn't against me, but she just wasn't moving at my same pace. And that really ended our relationship, basically. Like some people find religion. You know, they get into a religion and the other person's not into it. If you didn't meet the person that way, those kind of profound changes is going to affect the relationship. So sometimes you can't avoid them, you know, and sometimes you can. But I think if you want to make it work with somebody and say you got religious, you have to allow them room to possibly change, but understand that you might still have to leave that person, or that person may still have to leave you. I mean, all in all, basically, what I'm saying is really make a serious investment if you're serious about a relationship. As simple as that. Make a serious investment like you would do in anything else, where you would spend your money, where you would, when you're buying your clothing, when you're picking out your food, you know, when you're shopping. Look, the one resource we cannot get back on this earth is time. So spend your time wisely when you're looking for a mate. And again, be clear and be honest with yourself. If you want a mate just to get busy with, you just want a mate just to fuck, just do it. Just do it. Don't act like, oh, I want a relationship because it looks bad if I'm just screwing. No, be honest with yourself and with that person. It may turn into something, it may not, but be honest. And that's the most important part of it. Be honest with yourself first. Be aware of who you are. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with your mate. Then you have a good chance at things. But seriously, make an investment. It should be based on how important. And I would always, maybe that's a question you can ask yourself. How important is it for me to have someone who's compatible with me? And if it's important, you need to make an investment like it is important. And that brings us to the end of this podcast in Life Culture Sports with your host, once again, Greg Armstrong. Everybody have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll speak to you later. Peace.